Hey, what's up, Dry? What's up? What are you up to, man?
Hello and welcome, folks. Jason Perry coming here from Rock Island, Tennessee, and I am just testing the settings of OBS. It is 11:36, and to be honest with you, this is the very first time that I've popped out this way straight through. I created a setup, and I just wanted to make sure that this thing was going through. Of course, it's hard to monitor because of internet connection, and that was the other thing I wanted to find out, is just exactly how well this was coming through. Again, I didn't plan to go live. I'm just trying to see what happens, and I just trying to start doing a little bit of testing, and I'm just trying to get some things set up. Obviously, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to use a streaming service, or temporarily if I'm just going to send out straight through OBS. The OBS, I can understand, has a little bit of risks because I'm dependent upon my internet connection. I'm dependent on my computer, and what I wanted to see how much usage this is pulling, which right now it appears that I'm doing 5.5% of the CPU, running out at 60 frames per second and about 12,000 kilobytes per second. So, again, all this is new, trying to figure out where
No, there should be music, isn't there?
all
Connecting.
this fits in.
I had
And
it mute. See this? Oh, I swear to God, like I don't know why it's.
I apologize. I've got somebody
Yeah, I don't know.
piping
Oh, sorry
in
about
from the
that. Because I
background
thought I had it
also.
on. Okay, I guess it was mute the whole time.
So I
Damn
need
it.
to go find out where they're at and mute them, and
See, this is what sucks. Like I don't know why it was muted. I don't know why the music was muted. The music shouldn't have been muted. Because I had it playing. I didn't even touch the music since last time I was on. So, like, see,
which we've
I
got a
don't know.
little
I
bit
gotta
of a
get more stuff
lag
locked in
going
for the
here.
stream. I just got so much other
Let
stuff
me
on my
go
mind right
see
now.
if I can find
But
out where
I'm
this
still
is
trying to go
at.
live just to come and show the work that I'm doing in the meantime, until all the stuff behind, kind of the stuff I
And of
gotta
course,
take care of gets
this is part of
finished.
learning. This is
Still
just
trying to go live once in a while
me
too.
trying
So.
to figure out exactly what's going on. And again, as I say, I've got him playing in the background, and he was on mute, and therefore I did not realize that he was playing. And I've got way too many instances open. So hopefully I will find him in a second and get that muted.
Because it's
But,
some charity. It's kind of like a donation charity event thing for kids by
here we
us.
go. Yes, I finally found it. We'll just click off of that. So anyway, again, and one thing I'll have to make sure that I don't do is leave this up and running. But as you can see, all right, that should be ending here in just a second. If you happen to pop in here, again, this is Jason. I'm just experimenting. It's 11:39 p.m. and had no intentions of going live. I'm just actually checking some of my scenes, and so we've got iCast Enterprises is which one of the main companies, and then I'm going to go ahead and experiment with the transition. So there is iDressed, and of course it's taken. I'm trying to monitor and see how much change I've got. One of the issues that I also just now remembered, I'm checking the monitor and doing my monitoring using my phone, and so the last time I'd went live for just a few minutes, I had that phone sitting up on the counter, and I realized it was causing a lot of feedback after the fact. So, as you see, I've got a little bit of transitions going on. I don't know how much of a lag there truly was there versus my slow internet connectivity. And of course, a lot of people's like, well, that's where you're really messing up, is trying to pipe out directly from the computer going out to YouTube. And again, this is all an experiment. This is just me trying to learn and figure out what the parameters are, what my limitations are. And now, like if I'm pulling up, of course, I'm just showing you in behind the scenes. What I'm using is OBS. If you're not familiar with OBS, Open Broadcast System, and it's just a way of creating switches and putting new scenes up and doing all kinds of, different things. I'm obviously using a green screen. I'm not so worried about, tweaking everything tonight. Again, like I said, just coming on here live, trying things out, planning on getting started doing some live streaming on a regular basis, coming in here, hanging out, teaching some stuff. I've basically become part of a community that's Open EXO and also the EXO Angels. And we're working on some gamification, working on setting up different things to help companies and organizations become basically exponential organizations. And in the meantime, I'm going to be doing some live streaming, start doing some interviewing. And so therefore, I've just got to start getting on here and practicing and doing different things so that I get familiar with the program, and I'm able to get on here and do some lessons and explain some different things. What you're seeing in the background right now is actually, I'm in the process of setting up ThoughtSpace. And ThoughtSpace is just a 3D model. It is a program that you can go in and do brainstorming in, or you can set up lessons, but it's set up in a 3D version. And what I really like about it is the fact that you're able to set up these different spheres. And so you're able to, as you can see right there, there's Jay Elliott's World. That's one of the main hubs, but you'll notice coming off that is several other hubs. And, if I zoom into some of these different hubs, you'll be able to see, so like if I come back over here to Jay Elliott's World, then I go to Total Brain Dump, you'll notice there's a lot of different things on this particular sphere. And it's just a way of coming in and brainstorming. So as an example, if I come, I'm in think mode, so I can sit here and double click on this, and it will send what's called a thought, which is just one little, I call it a ping pong ball, but you can click on that thought and put an idea or whatever you want to in there. Another way is you can click on group up at the top, and I just realized my screen settings are way off as far as, and let's see what we can do about that. Just realized that if anybody's on here watching this, you're like, what is he talking about? I forget that I have to change the modes. So switching over, obviously somebody could have chimed in there and said, hey, JP, we can't see you. And obviously if we had a lot of people here, then that would have been an option. some reason, see what we got going on here. Let's go to monitor and let's bring this back down. And again, we got quite a bit of a lag because I swapped the monitors over and it's still not showing up. But I'm going to continue on just as if it was, and if it shows up, it shows up. If it doesn't, we'll work on it later. And so what we've got going on here is ThorSpace is just, it's a 3D version of a mind mapping software. And I really enjoy it. As I said right here, I created one thort, and I'm going to come up and grab and click on group so you can post groups. And then at the same time, once you've posted those groups and these little thorts on the inside, obviously it starts out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thorts. You can add more thorts. So like this one with the idea, I could bring it inside and drop it, and it will automatically arrange itself. You can change the arrangement and change the shape, which is pretty neat. You can name the actual grouping. So let's just name it ideas. Again, I'm just on the fly, just experimenting here. And my main concern for tonight is I'm just trying to get into the chat room or get into the YouTube live stream and see how the quality is picking up. And thought I'd just kind of show you around as far as what kind of stuff I'm doing. So like right there, you can go from one thort to another and quickly put different things in here. Now, like if I create another group, it's going to pull out beside. And if I grab the group, I can sit here and go around and over and through any of these others. But if I reach inside and grab, say, the thort and bring it over into this group, now all of a sudden, if I let go, it will become part of that grouping. So that's just a way, like if you've got a couple of different groups that are similar ideas, you can either arrange by grabbing the thort, you can arrange where they're going to show up on that sphere. Or if you grab the actual sphere, all the thorts on the inside, like so, and it takes just a second. Actually, sometimes with my, all right, so let's back out of there just a little bit. Now, if I grab the thorts and pull, you'll see them start adhering on the inside. And again, you can rearrange these any which way. So like perhaps you want to get your grouping started and you put things in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, you know, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out here. What I really like about using ThorSpace, and again, it's something, it's a work in progress. But as you can see, I have basically, I'm sure there is a finite, but I call it a basic infinite amount of these spheres that you can create. And you can create them for different sections, different products, just whatever you want to do. You can modify them, you can change the themes, you can change the colors. But at the same time, let me go over here and I'll click on search, and I'm going to go to public. And again, a lot of these, let me just click on map 420 and let's jump over here and see what this map is. This is something that somebody has created. So you've got that as a thought. And so they've got utopia, wake, lived experience, world building. Let's come down. What this collaboration cauldron is. I recognize the red arrow, so this is probably going to be my buddy Edward. And actually it is over in England. And so I recognized the red arrow immediately. And then this is a very interesting gentleman that's got a lot of public spheres put out and storing topic. And this is basically just a sphere that he's put out as a guide, as a working platform, and so you can come in and add to this. Trying to see MIPP. So like this one is most important plans for the planet, and just different ideas that he's had. Can we, what can we, just a lot of different things. And so, one of the things that I'm trying to do through the EXO group is just be able to make connections all around the world. And I'll be honest, this has actually happened just in the last month. I've literally just today been charged for my monthly membership for this, in other words, this first payment, the second payment. And so, and you may say, well, what in the world are you even talking about, JP, when you're talking about EXO? What in the world is EXO? And EXO is basically just it is a platform. It's a community. And I know I'm rambling again. This is just off the cuff, but I'm going to go ahead and open up. So basically, as you can see right behind me, and again, I'm not so worried about the fact that my green screen's kind of glitching just a little bit. So y'all bear with me and understand that if you see the little bit of glitching, it's okay. We're not worried about it. The main thing I'm worried about is just making sure this stream health stays up. And right now it seems to be. I'll definitely have to see what it looks like when we're done. But so basically I'm just giving you a behind the scenes look, and I guess I could go ahead and change this up just a little bit. And so let me bring this over. And yes, I need to go ahead and have some scenes created, some different frames and things such as that. But what you're seeing there is this is me logged into my platform. And one of the main things that this whole community is based around originally is the Exponential Organization 2.0. And I just realized I've got to swap over again. So I did change the scenes up a little bit, and you will notice more than likely there'll be people, I guarantee you, will chime in on this eventually and be like, JP, you got to quit having so many windows open. You can't do that, brother. But it's okay. And again, we're just testing. But the Exponential Organizations 2.0 is the second version of the book Exponential Organizations. It was written by Salim Ismail, and this time it's co-authored with Peter H. Diamandis and Michael S. Malone. And you'll see that there's a foreword written by Ray Kurzweil. And give me just 1 second. So basically, the book is what they are classifying and calling a living book. And you'll notice that you can read it online. You can purchase this. It was on sale for 99 cents. I'm not sure if you can still buy it at that rate or not. I know they were going to up the price, but that would just be something where you would click on here and go and see if it's still available at the 99 cents. But one of the amazing things is, as of right now, they're allowing us to read and interact with the book here on the platform. And so, as you can see, we've got, and actually we'll see. Note to reader. Okay. And so it's basically showing, this is starting to read that book. And so the massive transformative purpose. I'm just going to quickly go through and show you just a little bit of this. About this edition, it goes into details about why they wrote it, how they wrote it, what their goals and ambitions are with the book. And of course, the forward, again, pay attention to Ray Kurzweil. I may be getting that name wrong. But the reason I want to say pay attention to that is if I come back, and I'll just click back out. When I come back out, it will give me the option to read the book or download a summary, or I can chat with Ray K. And of course, you'll notice this chat bot or this AI is named after Ray because of what he has done for this technology. And so basically, what this whole thing allows you to do is the AI is trained on everything exponential organizations. And so, you can communicate with this particular chat bot, and most of your answers are going to be based off an API patchwork through like ChatGPT, but it's trained on the book and all of the principles taught in the book. And so anything that you go in here and ask it is going to be geared with that perspective. So I'll just type in here, starting a non-profit for a search and rescue team. How should I establish and of course old Jason has a hard time typing if you can't figure that out by now. But starting a nonprofit for a search and rescue team, how should I establish it? And that's a very generic question, very generic prompt. And one of the things that I'm learning about prompt engineering and things such as that is the more succinct that you can be with your prompts, the better the answers you get out. But as an example, just with that little bit of a prompting, starting a nonprofit for a search and rescue team, how should I establish it? And I just realized in a prior prompt, I had said, write this from the perspective of a Southern author and add a little bit of humor. So that's going to be the answer here. I'll have to change that prompt. Well, darling, if you're looking to establish a nonprofit for a search and rescue team, there are a few steps you can take to get started. First off, you'll need to define your mission and vision for the organization. This will help guide your team and ensure that everyone is working towards the same goal. For example, your mission could be to provide timely and effective search and rescue services to those in need, while your vision could be to create a safer community through proactive emergency response. Once you define your mission and vision, you'll need to form a board of directors. This group of individuals will be responsible, and I'm not going to continue reading, but as you can see, that has went on off of that one little prompt, and it's still throwing the little country, conversation. It has went on and basically put out a lot of information. So basically, just this book alone is amazing. And then the fact that you're able to go in here and work with that is pretty substantial. Now, I'm going to jump over here to community. And I just wanted to give you an idea of what's here. And so if I give that a second or two to populate, what's going to take place is you'll start seeing it pulls up in relative to my location. So you'll see the closest one is in Christiana, Tennessee. Then we've got one in Nashville, Tennessee, another one in Nashville, Tennessee. Dahlonega, Georgia. I need to reach out to Benjamin. I'd love to go down there and do some gold dredging. And you can see what is their bio, their profile, things such as that. Now, the good thing about this community is it's a diverse group of people, and I'm going to come down here and put some filters in, and I'm going to go and see who I'm following. And some of these, obviously, I'm following these. Celine, actually the author of the book, tells what the badges are. Kevin Allen in Cape Town. And of course, then we've got Yaroslav, which is, he's in London. And then Sasha is Alexandra, or Sasha is in Frankfurt, Germany. Her and Fabrizio, her wonderful husband, big help in the community. So basically, just to give you an example, if I click on Yaroslav's profile, then I can read about Yaroslav. He's a consultant, an entrepreneur, and trainer working at the intersection of leadership, innovation, technology, and sustainability. He has 15 years of global experience, having worked with clients in over 30 countries during his career. He has designed and delivered close to 10,000 hours of programs, sessions, workshops, and interventions, to corporate, entrepreneurial, public, and NGO clients. Yaroslav has lived and worked in the UK, US, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, and the Czech Republic, and has traveled to 50 countries. Pretty interesting young man. And as you can see, he's got his website here, all of his socials. So, I can go over, which I do. I follow him on LinkedIn, his Twitter, all this different stuff. Then it shows his certifications for EXO. And he's an EXO ambassador. Has been since 2019. He's on the board of advisors. He's an EXO consultant. He obviously, completed the EXO foundations before he could become a consultant. He's also an EXO sprint coach and an EXO trainer. Now, for anybody that's brand new, and even somebody like myself, I am learning gradually. But some of these, I'm not even 100% sure. I couldn't explain them. I know I've got a gist of what they are, and that's another part of this is they're really big into education, and there's plenty of education out there if you'll just take the time and go through it. And one of the things is this is a self-assessed as far as MPT design. So that's his massive transformative purpose, staff on demand, community and crowd, algorithms, leveraged assets, engagement, social technologies, autonomy, experimentation, dashboard, and interfaces. And these are qualities of the ideas and the scale. Ideas is an acronym for the 5 internal attributes for managing abundance, and scale is an acronym for the 5 externals. This shows some of his areas of expertise. You've got lean startup, incremental innovations, ideations, EXOs, minimum viable product, public presentations, pitch coaching, experimentation, disruptive innovation, design thinking, corporate innovation. And his interests are advising, coaching, speaking, consulting, leading business development, content creation or generation, investing, entrepreneurship, training, and building local communities. And then, that is just one segment of his profile. We can go in and follow, and obviously I am following him. I could send him an internal message. So this, one of the things about the organization, it's just a phenomenal way to reach out and contact other people and meet like-minded individuals or meet groups of individuals that are in a, just like in consulting or whatever, so that if you as a business owner need some consultation on setting up an EXO or anything such as that, then by all means you can reach out. One example is the EXO Angels, and I'll be showing you more about that in the future. Again, tonight's stream, it's a little after midnight, and I was not planning to jump on here, but I just decided, you know what, I was in here experimenting with my OBS, and I thought, well, let's just go live and see how this thing does. And to be perfectly honest, I've got to make sure that I know how to get out of the stream. And so, there's going to be a lot of experimenting, and a lot of this stuff is going to be rough, and just bear with me. We'll figure it out. But as I mentioned, learning, there's so many different resources in this community. It is actually mind-boggling to me how much is at our fingertips. And, the blog, we've got all kinds of information here. You got the Open EXO blog, which is just cram-packed full of information. And most of this information is written from people in the community. I'll go ahead and click on dashboard. And again, I've got quite a bit of a lag here with my monitor. I'm actually monitoring with my phone, but we have a terrible internet service in here, and I think it's actually swapped over and trying to use some data. So I'm just going to carry on with this, but as you can see, I'm now on my dashboard, and it's got two sections, home and marketplace. I'm going to stay in my main dashboard. You can always upgrade your account. You can share your story, that's working on your profile. There's where you can interact with the book. Here's where I am certified as the foundations. So my next step would be going and getting a certification with as a consultant. And I'll get into more of that. You can become an EXO creator. So that's where you can actually submit articles to the blog and stuff. The database is full of information. Here's the community calendar, tells all the live streams and things that we'll be having. So as an example, every week we have a networking Zoom that's worldwide. And so people are invited to come in, and they usually have a guest speaker that talks for 10 to 15 minutes, always on some really interesting subjects. Here in the recent months, obviously AI and other technologies like it are a big topic. And then what they'll do is, after they've had that talk, they'll break us out in breakout rooms, breakout sessions, and there's usually 3 to 6 people in each room, and you're meeting people from all over the world, and you'll go in there, and sometimes they'll give us a topic to discuss, but usually to begin with, it's just introductions, and you go around and introduce yourself. What are you doing? Why are you here? And you meet people from all different walks of life and all different types of businesses and communities and nonprofits. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful process so far. Like I said, I've been involved for just over a month now, actually a month and 2 days, 3 days. And I have met people from Germany, Switzerland, Norway, Africa, South Africa, England, France, Italy, you just name it. And I mean, there will be on with different ones at all the time, at all times. One of the things that matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and pull this up and show you is this is where we are in the Discord. And so again, internet's a little slow, and me trying to pipe out here is going to be even slower. But what you're seeing right now is the Discord. And so if I come over to Lounge, then I'm going to stop in here. It's been a while. I've not been in since earlier in the evening. So if I come over to Lounge, so we've got glad you're here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that have come in since 3 p.m. And so I'm going to come in here and make a quick message. And so basically what I'm doing here is leaving them a message. Come in and introduce yourself here. Putting that introduce yourself tag. And I'll click here. Howdy to all the newbies. Glad you have joined the community. Please stop by and introduce yourself here. So we'll throw that in. One of the groups that we're in is the working group for AI. And so the last person that's come in at 3:11 p.m. Blessing. Why music ed worldwide. Read the sign. Also Montreal, old Montreal, Canada. Gorgeous choice of music. Beautiful plan for family, for community, refugee settling in and needs help, for sustainability, etc., etc. So there's a lot of different people from all over the world comes in here, and we're just talking back and forth, and lots of community, lots of stuff that's just extremely interesting. And I know it's a little confusing trying to show you this, and you're probably still like, what in the world are you talking about, JP? But as you can see, a lot going on in here. All right, so again, I'm back. I was just showing you the Discord, and then I was actually checking on some private messages in there for one of the groups that I'm working with. One of the other exciting things, and you may say, what are you talking about exciting, is the Open EXO experience, which is a gamification of the onboarding process. So it does take a person step by step and start showing them the foundations that's behind the whole EXO community. And it'll take that just a second to load up. But I was lucky enough to be coming in at a time that they were finishing up their beta. And so I jumped in, ran through the beta. They had some prizes for the first 50 people that finished the beta. I was lucky enough to get in and get that done on time. And as you saw when I first pulled up there, it showed 4,900 XP, some points, different things. Now, I wish that I had not done the raffle spin yet, but every day, every 24 hours, you can come in and start spinning, and it'll give you a chance to win some prizes and different things. So, I'll show you some stuff in the future. Again, today, tonight, I'm not going to try to get into great detail, but it tells me my next raffle spin will be available in 15 hours. All right, and it's got some little explaining videos here, but the courses, I can click over onto the courses, and I'll give you just a quick overview. So obviously the orientation was the first game, and that's what brought us on board. And like I said, I went through it while it was in beta, but it is now 100% live. And so I have just completed level 1.1, the basics, and I'll give you some examples here. You'll see that I've got everything checked. But learn with EXO Insights, explore additional learning material, EXO Book Insights, EXO Book Insights 2, 3, 4, favorite innovation resources, favorite business resources, meet the community, AIX and XO questions, commenting on the feed. And let me see if that will still, all right, so it's locked out now that I'm already finished. So I'll just run back over here to courses, and I'll give you an example of the newest one. So I've now advanced to level 1.2. And so if we click in that, now here's the different ones. Learn with EXO Insight, EXO Book number 5, number 6. So what this is doing is obviously it's walking an individual through and ensuring that they're going to read the book. And it's not just read the book, you're also interacting with the book, and they'll send you to do a certain task. And so as an example, I'll click on this one, and of course now those of you that know me well, you're already familiar. Old JP's got some ADHD issues, and probably a lot of other letters could be thrown to that. And so a lot of times when I'm supposed to be rabbit hunting, I'll go out squirrel chasing. And so it's very easy for me to get sidetracked. And this is a good example, but it's a good thing, is in this course, I'm going in and they're wanting me to go in and look at the EXO Insight. And this also shows me who has already finished this. So there's 2 users completed. And again, gamifying this is it's putting a challenge out there. This is telling me there's already 2 people ahead of me. And so if there's a prize for being the first to complete it, I didn't complete this one before somebody else. And so it's like, how quick can I get done with this one and go to the next one? And this is just a great way to keep the audience and the community involved, and it's educational along the way. So it'll tell me what this is all about. It'll actually tell me to go in here and read the instructions, open EXO Insights, use the search option on the top right corner to find articles on a topic that interests you, or find 5 articles on different subjects. So now think about how intelligent of a training course this is. When I click on this, it's going to open up. And folks, this to me is amazing how much they have out here already. And just so happens from earlier, empowering community engagement, transforming clients into exponential networks. This is the first article that's popped up because it was published yesterday, later in the day, and it was published by Nikki, which happens to be the founder of the EXO Angels. And the EXO Angels is a group that has come together to create the whole gamification experience that we're talking about. And there's a lot more goes on behind the scenes than a person could ever imagine. But just as an example, I'll click in here, and this is the quality of articles that you'll find in the Insight. And the Insight, again, it's written by the community. It is overseen and approved, obviously, but, and it's like, as an example, I've reached out and offered some of my work, but my work compared to this, it's not quite up to par yet. So I'll have to do a little tweaking, and some of that I'll use AI for. But this right here is phenomenally laid out. Nikki is a brilliant, brilliant mind, and I know she's got some of the team helping her also, but I'd say from the looks of it, I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'd say this is her work. But empowering community, unleash the power of connected communities, enhance personal capabilities, put knowledge into action, foster open communication, and envision a future of exponential growth. Joining OpenEXO provides numerous benefits, although it may initially be overwhelming. And as you can see, there's a lot here. I told somebody the other morning, I said, don't worry. I said, this is kind of like being thirsty, and the only source of water that you have is a fire hydrant that's turned wide open. You're going to get a lot of water in a lot of places, and you'll get a little bit of water where you need it. And you just keep working at it, and you'll eventually get there. And so what I like about the EXO experience is that it's gamifying walking through these steps. Just as an example, by going to 1.2 that I started on, it's now brought me over here and introducing me to the insight. And I can come up here and search practically any topic, and I guarantee you there's going to be probably an article or two written about it, because there's some brilliant, brilliant minds from all over the world that's authoring these. And as I said, Nikki, I was privileged enough that I am helping behind the scenes a little bit with the EXO experience. I am brand new on that part of it, and believe me, Old Country's got a lot of catching up to do. That was what I was looking at, was one of the private messages. There's a team working behind the scenes, and I've got a video this morning where I went into a private thread, and this is day 2 for me on that private thread. And I scrolled back to the earlier part of 2022, and I'm just trying to get a timeline and study and see what they've done as far as sequentially to get up to where they're at on the game now on the back end. And Fabrizio, which is one of the main developers, he had put on a message, and I saw that click up, so I just clicked the arrow, and it automatically starts scrolling. And when it scrolled and scrolled and scrolled for over 45 seconds before it got to the bottom. We're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of communications between the different parts of the team working behind the scenes to put together what you were looking at a minute ago. And so I'll jump back over here. And even for like each one of these, you've got to think about this. Somebody has got to have the working knowledge of everything EXO. And like here, they have to have a working knowledge of where the insights is, how to use it. And then they've got to creatively figure out, well, how do we engage a person so that it makes them go in here in a fun way and learn. And that's what I love about this. I mean, and those of y'all that know me real well, again, once you do get to know me, you'll understand I may say something about education that somebody might take the wrong way. Let me just explain something. I am not against education at all. I fully believe a person should get educated every day. I'm a little taken back with the way that school systems are set up, because unfortunately the way they are set up, and it's just the way it happens to be, is that it's very hard to cater to all the diversity of mindsets. So, and here in the States, we use a lot of terms that perhaps other countries use a different word for, but, you know, and it's, I don't know any better way of putting this, but if a person's learning abilities are a little bit slow, depending on the topic, or a little bit advanced, then they're not going to get the attention that they need. If it's somebody that, and by slow, I mean they're just not catching on to this topic or this subject as fast as the average person. So if they're running a little behind, then if the teacher is forced to teach in the middle, then the person who's running a little behind, they're not going to be able to keep up. And if it's somebody that's a little bit advanced in it, it becomes boring to them. And so you try to lump 30 students into one little way of learning, and maybe this student doesn't learn very well by auditory means. Maybe they're more of a kinesthetic. They want a hands-on, or they're definitely more visual. So it's better to show them a video, or incorporating all three. And unfortunately, a lot of times in the classrooms, no matter how hard a teacher tries, it's hard to create lesson plans that interact with all of them. What I love about this type of education is you can go at your own pace, and you can pick and choose the methods that are best for you. And I just wish that was better available for the younger grades and even up into your higher educations, high school, and then on into college. And I think there is a huge transition taking place as far as this type of working model being used for all different levels. I mean, here it is 12:30, and if I wasn't doing this live stream and was still up, which I might not be, then I could be in here studying. And that's basically what I do on a daily and nightly routine. Is I come in and I study, and I try to do a little bit every day to improve upon yesterday. And so, basically I'm just trying to get in here and show people that there's a lot more to life. There's a great community out here, and EXO, in my opinion, is a great community. It's a great way of learning. It's a great way of being introduced to people from all walks of life, from all different areas in life, from everywhere in the world. And we're in here, the main mission is to just make the world a better place for humanity. And we're all teaming up and working together for a common goal. And in the meantime, also helping each other reach our own personal goals and aspirations. And so I'm just going to transition over here. Again, like I said, this stream wasn't planned. There's going to be a lot of these unplanned streams, and I'm not your fancy high quality content creators yet, and probably never will be. I'm not striving to make this channel the most popular channel on earth. I'm not striving to be the biggest YouTuber on earth. I'm not striving to do anything other than have a place that I can come. Right now, it seems like I'm rambling because I am. I'm getting used to using this system. I'm getting used to, I'm going to be trying some other systems. I'm going to try some streaming software, because as an example, let's say that I was in here and this was something that I had taken a lot of time to get put together. And let's just say that, one of these little storms comes through and the internet goes down temporarily, or the electricity goes off. If the electricity goes off or the internet system goes down right now, then I'm gone. I'm out of here. It's going to black out. Whereas if I'm using a streaming service that's actually, all I'm doing is sending a signal to that streaming service, the main channel and the main live stream would stay up even if I went out for a moment. Then I could literally grab my phone and log back in, or I could jump on another computer and log back in. Whereas I don't have that advantage just coming straight out of OBS. So I can already see why it's going to be advantageous for me to pick one of the streaming services and go with that. And so basically, as we advance, as I experiment, there's going to be a lot of this, but that's where the advantage would be is using the streaming service is it always keeps it up. It's served on the cloud. And especially if I was doing an interview and had guests on, and once we start having a lot of people in the stream, then, we would want that as a streaming service instead of straight out of OBS. Anyway, I've rambled enough, and I don't know exactly, as an example, I don't even know how to get out of this particular session. This is the first, I think I do, but this is the first time that I've streamed straight through with just OBS. And it's been an experience. I've got to figure out what other windows I need to have open, because like I said, I'm just monitoring with my little phone right now. And actually, while I'm here, before I do close down, like I said, I've done jumbled this up enough. I'm going to open up another instance of YouTube, and this may blow up in my face. And if it does, we was already fixing to sign off anyway. But I'm going to pull up YouTube and see if I can keep up or see what's going on. But also, the one thing about this, the only thing that I'm finding, I've got a chat window here. And I guess I could have at least before now tried to chat. And so that did show up pretty fast there. And I'll go back and say, that way I can at least see how that went. And so that did show up. Okay, so it is real time. It's working. There's still a major lag. The chat worked instantaneously, but there's a major lag. But see, this is experimentation until I go on here and find out. Now, we may get some feedback here, and if we do, I apologize. But I'm going to click this and see if that will pull up. And see how far behind I am on the actual desktop. Another advantage of not having a lot of followers and subscribers is you don't have to worry about a whole lot of people seeing you live malfunctioning. Although, it would be nice to, and I'm going to see moderation activity. I told somebody the other morning, all right, give me just a second. And so obviously I'm going to start getting a lag trying to do this. Wasn't the brightest idea, and it actually did go over whose messages are held for review. All right, so again, folks, I'm learning. You can show or hide. And it says there's 2 watching now, so, and I'm assuming that's this one and my phone. If there's somebody else out there that's just chimed in, listen, I apologize. I'm actually fixing to jump off here. I've just come on and done a test streaming. But if you don't mind, jump in here and say hello. Send us, give me a little feedback here in the chat. Looks like somebody has give us a thumbs up. And I feel sorry for you. You're probably like, man, old country, he's done lost it. I went back right now. I'm back to the black screen behind me. And, I just want to let you know. Don't worry. I said, this is kind of, I didn't mean to pause that. I should have just, so anyway, if you're chiming in and seeing this, bear with us. It's just an experiment. Old Country is going to be doing a lot of experimentation in the next few days, and I do appreciate the thumbs up. I'd love for you to chime in and let me know who it was, and if you're still out there, just put it in the chat so that I can see that it's working on both ends. And if not, I appreciate you stopping by. But basically, I'm fixing to go ahead and ease on out of here. I need to go get me a little bit of sleep. And we are going to continue this experimentation. I hope to, well, I'm not going to say